Well, now we have a question that comes from the Pharisees. Mark 10 and verse 2. Some Pharisees came and tested him by asking, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" "What did Moses command you?" he replied. They said, "Moses permitted a man to write a certificate of divorce and send her away." "It was because of your hearts that they were hard that Moses wrote you this law," Jesus replied. "For in the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let not man separate." The Pharisees want to trip Jesus up. It might surprise you, but divorce was very common at the time of Jesus. Marriages were broken very, very regularly. In fact, perhaps far more regularly than they are today. Things are tighter today than they were at the time of Jesus. Does that surprise you? Shouldn't surprise us. Men and women have never really changed since the time of the fall. Sin and self dominate in our lives. How does Jesus answer? Well, he goes right back to the beginning. Marriage is God's idea. It's not a human institution. It was given by God for our joy, for our delight. Marriage, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. In God's rules, man might well change them and does change them, but God's view never changes. It's for a man and a woman. I'm just saying what the Bible actually says. And it is a lifelong commitment. What God has joined together, let not man separate. And notice when they are joined together in marriage, they become one flesh. Now, this includes the sexual union, certainly, but it's far wider than that. One in heart, one in mind, one in soul, one in spirit. We are together. We do things together. Husbands, love your wives. Be submissive to one another. Bear one another in mind. The act of sex is for within the marriage bond. How much anxiety and sadness and pain and anguish is caused by breaking God's simple law. Sex before marriage, fornication. Sex outside marriage with another partner is adultery. God is very, very clear. We'll go on to look tomorrow at more details because the disciples want to drill down on what Jesus has said. But here we can rest in these words. Marriage, God's idea, God's provision. Sexual relationships for within the marriage bond. And marriage lasts till death us do part. And only by God's strength can we keep these commandments and know the joy of the Lord and know that great stability.